Check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles, filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide? Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the field to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
I think I got my microphone problems connected. Should sound a little bit better. Still not quite dialed in the way I want it, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was the other day, man. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, that's me and Tone rapping on the intro. Oh, what's going on, man? What's going on? Crazy day in the sports news cycle, man. We got WNBA news. We got Eagles just made another move. We got Andy Dalton, y'all. Andy Dalton. Now, y'all know, I am born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. So you already know I got love for Big Red. You already know I got love for the Red Rifle, man. Andy Dalton is in the building. He is going to be our third string quarterback. Nothing has happened to Tanner McKee. He is still listed as number 2 on the depth chart, and I don't think he's going anywhere. But it's interesting that even now, when you got a new offensive coordinator, everything is brand new because everybody learning the offense at the same time. They might have a little jump on Sean Mannion because they've been here longer, but how much work have they actually put in? So, and plus, Andy Dalton's a vet. He done seen it all. He done been through a lot and done seen a lot. So it's not going to be much for him to get up to speed and do what he has to do. But for the most part, he's not taking anybody's place. Andy Dalton is an emergency quarterback. We got him for a 7th round pick in 2027. Basically, we got him on sale. So, it is what it is. So I'm happy. I like Andy Dalton. Like I said, he played 9 years for my Bengals. So I got nothing but love. I know that's a biased opinion, but you know how I feel about my folks from Ohio. It's all good. So, but what's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Big news for the day for me was the WNBA got their new CBA deal, and them ladies about to start getting paid. So was happy to do that. Did a whole nother video about that. Check out my Pro Fan Hoops channel. That is growing. I'm on my way to 700. If you have not subscribed to this channel, Pro Fan Talk, please hit subscribe. Join my team. I am on the way. I'm very close to 9,000 subs. Trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. We can do it. We can do it, man. Just keep adding to the squad. You know how we do. But, I got my people in the building. Quentin, you was first out the limo. I appreciate you. Tiffany, not long after. Dave Money, Carlos in the building, Daniel Berry Sports, Chris 3K. What it do, son? So it is all good. Panda says Tanner might be on the move. It's possible. It's possible, but we signed Andy Dalton for no money. So if somebody gonna trade for Tanner, that's Howie Roseman could probably get them picked back. We got rid of a 7th round in 2027, y'all. We good. So whether Howie does something or not, we in good shape, bro. I'm not. This was an emergency piece. Um, like I said, an emergency QB, 3rd string QB. The only time Andy Dalton should be seeing the field is if something happened, and we don't want to go down that road, man. So, but we'll see. I mean, if they move Tanner, they move Tanner. It's all good. But he a good backup, man. I'm not worried about that. I'm seeing just to get out of Philadelphia real quick. I'm seeing. Did you see the stuff about Brandon Ayuk? About what's going on with him and in San Francisco. Very interesting stuff, man. Like the only person he was talking to was George Kittle's. He shut everything down because he thought that San Francisco did him wrong. And San Francisco did him wrong, but it just shows you the ugly side of this business. He got hurt playing, and then basically they just kind of threw him out with the bathwater. And he wanted to be traded. They didn't want to trade him, and like all of that kind of stuff. It just went from bad to worse, bad to worse. And he shut down. He didn't want to talk to nobody. In my opinion, he wasn't in a good state of mental health. Because remember, when all of this was going on, he got caught driving like 100-something miles an hour in residential areas. He was doing silly stuff. He was lashing out. He was crashing out. So, and the reason I bring that up is because I always want to make that comparison for all them people that forget. What's up, 6'3" Mortis? Appreciate you, bro. For all them people that forget what diva behavior really looks like. And everybody want to cast them aspersions on AJ Brown for what he did and how he acted and tweeting and books on the sideline and this, that, and the third. Look at Brandon Ayuk out there in San Francisco. And I'm saying this because I don't necessarily believe Brandon Ayuk was in the wrong. Now, his reasoning was how he acted. Well, let me say it like this. And I'm saying this based on what I heard from a beat reporter in San Francisco, somebody that follows San Francisco on a daily basis. He said Brandon Ayuk knew things weren't going right, but he kept his mouth shut. Didn't say nothing. Didn't say nothing to nobody. Would show up to the facility, work out, blah, blah, blah. He didn't say nothing. He didn't make no waves. And then they threw him out. And that's when he started crashing out. So let me see. Now my messages are showing. It just popped up. It might take a minute. But so I just want people to understand what diva behavior looks like. And again, he wasn't necessarily in the wrong. It didn't get bad until kind of like late. And there's been a lot of other examples that are worse than that. So, it is what it is. But I want people to stop trying to put that narrative on AJ Brown, regardless of if he leaves or not. Regardless of if he gets out of here or not. The the narrative that he's a diva, he's a cancer, he's a problem in the locker room, all of that type of stuff. I don't buy it. Don't buy it. Never have. Never have. So people gonna go with what they wanna get the clicks with. So it is what it is. But we shall see after June 1st. And don't believe anything. Again, I heard Adam Schefter again on 97.5, and they trying to press him for answers and press him for answers. And he hasn't, Adam Schefter hasn't said anything different. Basically, this time he said, is it possible that he could get traded? Yes. Um, does he think, is it possible that he could stay in Philly? Yes. But the thumbnail and the quote on TikTok or whatever it was like, Adam Schefter believes that AJ Brown's camp asked to be traded. And I'm like, when I listened to what the clip was, that's not what he said. But they trying to put that narrative out there that he wants to be gone. So I could be wrong. He might want to be gone. I don't know what the situation was between him and Sirianni. I don't know what the rift was between him and Jalen Hurts. I don't know. I don't know how bad it was. I don't know exactly what it was. It can be much ado about nothing. That's how them things go. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later, but I don't know. So, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So yeah, Chris. Yeah, he was a D because he hated the offense, and we all hated the offense. I agree. I agree. And I still say that the one thing that nobody really brings up a lot is at the end of the day, maybe this was a Jeff Stoutland problem. Maybe it was. Was there a rift with Jeff Stoutland and a reason why he never wanted to pull Cam Jurgens, even though Cam Jurgens was not getting it done? There was a couple of games where Cam Jurgens just looked terrible. And I know Cam Jurgens is a Pro Bowl type center. He wasn't a Pro Bowl center this year, even though they gave him the vote, but we all know what that is. I'm not gonna hate on him for that, but let's be real and let's look at the tapes. Like, come on, bro. But that ain't his fault. That's not his fault at all. He can only do what he do on the field. He don't put a vote in, so that's not his fault. But if that offensive line is anything close to what it was in 2024, Kevin Patullo still has a job. Maybe we go further in the playoffs, and maybe we even make the run to go back to back. But woulda, coulda, shoulda don't do nothing but rhyme, and we end up losing to the 49ers in the first round at home. That hurt. That's how Kevin Patullo lost the job. Because the one thing I keep saying is I done seen the best of Jalen Hurts. I've seen him throw that AJ across the middle. I've seen him feed everybody. AJ, Devontae, Dallas. I've seen him feed everybody and make defenses make a decision. Who you gonna try to stop? And then for whatever reason, it seemed like we just couldn't make up our mind. We could not make up our mind. Sometimes it seemed like we had paralysis by analysis. Like, what are we trying to do out there? I know that Jalen Hurts can throw the ball across the middle. I know he can. I've seen him do it. But like I've said many times before, the play of our offensive line left us pigeonholed. What's going on, Nina? It left us pigeonholed. And there was not much that when the defense doesn't have to worry about the run game, they can kind of pin their ears back. And we kind of become predictable. But the more I think about that and let me remind you, I'm somebody that was deep in my feelings about Jeff Stoutland. Matter of fact, I just saw an article. I saved it and I brought it up. Lane Johnson dropped some hints that Jeff Stoutland might still be hanging around. He still might be a consultant or something like that. And I'm all for it. If he can help the new coach, um, whatever in whatever capacity it is. I don't think Jeff Stoutland is the type of dude that's going to try to overstep his bounds and like take over or something like that. Is it possible that can happen? Yes, it's possible, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So that that's pretty good. I'll read to you what he said. Hold on for a second. I'll read to you what he said. Um, uh, Let me see. There was not a dry in the high when former Philadelphia Eagles line Jeff Stoutland announced that he was not coming back. Yeah, we know that. Blah 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 blah. Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson appeared on the Fitz and Wit podcast, where he revealed some interesting news about Stoutland that Philly fans did not see coming. It's unfortunate. This is quote. It's unfortunate. The thing about him, though, I think he will be around in some capacity this year, so it's not like he's going a long ways away. Jeff Stoutland may not be leaving Philly after all. I'm good. That's all you need to tell me. That's all you need to tell me. Is he available to talk to for some advice if need be? That's all I need to hear. I'm good. I'm good. I can't wait to see what Sean Mannion's got up his sleeve. I can't wait to see what Howard's got up his sleeve when this draft hits. Um, let me see. When is the NFL draft? 2026 NFL draft. What's the date? What's the date? April 23rd through the 25th. Damn, that's a month away. That's a little over a month away. We almost there. Man, we cruising. We already through a quarter of the year already. As soon as we get out of March. That's crazy. That is crazy. Top 30 visits have started. Yeah. And now's when the now's where you get the subterfuge going on. This player visited this team. This guy visited that team. They're interested in him. Now this is when they start playing the game, jockeying for position and trying to, throw the curveball and the fade on people so they'll think they're gonna go one way and then another. Now you got all of the chess pieces on the board and everybody trying to play that 4D chess. They're trying to protect their picks. So yeah, it's a funny time and it is flying, man. It is flying. Absolutely. Absolutely. And before you know it, it'll be camp again. Ain't that scary? Ain't that scary? And by the way, I got some news. I got some news, but I don't wanna jinx myself. I'm working on some things for next season. I'm working on some things for next season. But I'm in the very, very early stages of it. Um, I gotta make some calls and I gotta get the ball rolling. So that's all I'm gonna say. And it might if things go right, I might be able to do some things on site. Because I know the last couple of years, I've had people ask me, "Are you going to be tailgating? Are you going to be down at the stadium?" Because let me be honest with you, I love watching the game from home. I love watching the game from home. When we have our alumni day at the stadium, they usually pick a game, a preseason game or something like that. But we are in the FanDuel lounge, the FanDuel room at the stadium, which is literally it is a two-level nightclub. That's exactly what it is. It is a two-level nightclub in the stadium, and it's a big nightclub. And they have food for us. We got plenty of places to sit. They got a bajillion TVs watching the game, and we have so much fun sitting back there, catching up with each other, watching the game. That is the funnest time we have. The food is fire. They always got somebody making sushi that's like on the spot, and it's like, chef's kiss. Not to mention cheesesteaks and prime rib, and they set it off. Jeffrey Lurie is not a slouch when it comes to hospitality, not by a long shot. And when I go to the stadium, I would prefer to be in the FanDuel room rather than in the stadium sometimes. Hell, a lot of the time. Because third quarter, I'm out. I'm right across the street from my parking. So I ain't got to walk far to get there. And like it's just the thing. But um I like watching the game from home because I like being at home, get some chicken wings, or maybe I'll cook me a brisket on Friday or Saturday, or whatever the situation is. But if these plans go through, I'm gonna be on site for a couple games. I'm gonna be on site for a couple games. So I will keep you posted. I will keep you posted. Tiff, I'm still working on that. I'm still working on the NFL thing, the NFL films thing, because I'm trying to get this. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you. This is this is what's been causing me all the problems right here. Hold on. Hope I don't turn nothing off. Y'all see this? See this? This is what's been causing me the problems. I just got this mixer. This is a Gigcaster 5. Like this is a real. I bought a real mixer. I didn't want to get like one of the cheap things. Because I know how I am about stuff like that in equipment. So I was like, I found it on sale. This is like a $400 mixer that I found on sale for like 170 bucks. So I was like, I got it, but this is a real mixer, which means there are settings and things that if you are in audio production, I'm sure you could go through this with a blink of an eye. But um, I do video, I don't do audio. So I am in the learning process, which is why my mic sounds funny. And when I was on with Tony the other day, Tony was like, yo, though, you got a reverb going. I had no idea that the reverb was that bad. And it took me almost a whole day to figure out what was causing that. So I'm getting to the point where I sound decent, but I still don't sound dialed in yet. I'm not dialed in yet. So that's why I haven't done the NFL film thing because I got to get this right. Then I got to do a voiceover. So I'm working on it. My goal is to get it done and have it up by tomorrow. That's the goal. And then of course, when I'm doing this, now all of a sudden I'm busy at work. I got a new project coming in. I got a new ad. We got a new product at work. So I got to create ads for it. So that, yeah, life be lifing. So, but it's all good. I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. I love what I do. I love that my podcast is growing, and I'm trying to get some guys. I ran into some couple of guys that I haven't seen in a while at the NFL Films tour that I'm gonna have them on the show. Um, so yeah, we got some things going. So we gonna keep it moving. Uh, the scouting players. Yeah, this is part of the process. Don't put too much into it. Don't fall in love with anybody because, like I said, this is part of the subterfuge, and you trying to throw people off your scent. And Howie Roseman is trying to protect that board as much as he can. So they'll bring everybody in. Bringing everybody in is like bringing in nobody. Nobody has the real idea of what you're going to do. Yes, we need a tight end, but so does everybody else. So um, I'm sure they'll probably bring in Sadiq, and everybody's going to lose their mind. Doesn't mean that we going to draft them. You know what I mean? So this is the time where they trying to throw curveballs, so you can't get you know heck last year heck the last 3 4 years 5 6 years they always bring in somebody and then bring in somebody again for more than one visit and then they don't draft them, sign them or whatever, and it was like, well, what was the point of all of that? Sometimes that's just the way the process goes. You spend a couple $1,000s on a plane ticket and hotel reservations, and you make another team think you're going in a different direction. It's worth it. That's what they do. That's the nature of the business. That's how the sausage is made. So that's what they're gonna do. So don't don't get too hyped when you see somebody coming into town. because it really doesn't mean anything. Um, I haven't finished watching film on Johnny Munt, but he looks he looks good. He looks like he's legit as a pass catcher and a blocker. So I'm okay with that. So maybe we only need one tight end, Panda. Um, so we'll see how that plays out. But maybe we'll get two. If we get two, that means Granderson is not. He gonna have to play for his spot. Nothing is guaranteed. So yeah, Ian, smoke and mirrors, bro. Smoke and mirrors. That's how it works. That's how it works. Possibility. Who you talking about? Granderson? Yes, it's a possibility. Possibility. I'd be curious. What did he sign for? What's his first name? What's Granderson's first name? What was his contract? Month? Well, no. Here's my if you're talking about month, here's my theory on month. Um Month and Sean Mannion played together. So they know each other. So they got a relationship. And what that means is familiarity in the offense that everybody else is learning. So because there's familiarity, um, I'm looking at him like a safety blanket. So Month is going to teach Goddard what he needs to do. That's what's going to happen. And also, let me see. So yeah, so um, there might not be a guarantee, but I think they're going to keep him. They gave him a 3-year deal, and they gave him upfront money. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Hold on. Johnny Monk contract. I'm reading the wrong thing. What did they give him? Always look at the money. So they found 2-year, 5.5 million contract. Um, they gave him 200 grand signing bonus with a total of 750 guaranteed. So they're gonna keep him for at least 1 year. They're not just gonna give up 750,000. You know what I'm saying? So they gave him 200, and they're gonna give him another 550. So that he ain't going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. So um, they might have room for one more. So Granderson um, will probably be the one fighting for a job. Let me see. What is his contract? Nope. I think I spelled his name wrong. Is it Grant? Is it Granson? Granderson? Is it Granson? Is it like almost like grandson? Kyle Granson. Um, wait a minute. Why does it say Granson signed with Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Calcaterra. My bad. My bad. You right. You right, Panda. I'm thinking I was like, wait a minute. Calcaterra. Grand Calcaterra. I don't know why I got them mixed up. So Grand Calcaterra signed 1 year, signed a 2 million contract, and he got 187,000. He got a $2 million contract, uh, and they are on the hook for about almost 900,000. 1-year deal for $2 million, 187,000 signing bonus with guaranteed his base salary is going to be 1.8. His signing bonus was 187. He's got 700 grand in guaranteed. So yeah, he can be cut. He can be cut if they I don't know if there's a provision in that contract where he has to make the team, but you're right, he can be cut. So we shall see. But think about it like this. You got Johnny Munt. Dallas Goedert is still our number one, but we got to have two that can block. Are they gonna do Latu? Is Latu still gonna be the hybrid fullback tight end? Because we can't have Calcaterra is a receiving tight end. Johnny Munt is a blocking tight end. Dallas Goedert is a receiving tight end. So we got to get one more blocker. And are they going to keep 4 tight ends on the roster? So are they going to bring in somebody else to be a tight end / special teamer? Or are they just going to roll with Latu and let him kind of be the hybrid that he is? So, yeah. So I can see them bringing somebody else in and cutting Calcaterra. Nothing's guaranteed. Because I like Calcaterra. I like his size and I like his speed. But I don't think he's better than Dallas Goedert, and we need a blocker. Period. So Eagle Scouts was at Stanford's Pro Day watching tight end Sam Roush and Colin Wright working out today. They were both at the Senior Bowl. Right. Who was the coach at the Senior Bowl? Sean Mannion. See how it all works? But again, that could be a false flag. But at least they looking. So at least they looking. And not for nothing. Sometimes we got to pump the brakes because Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, the last few seasons, have shown incredible restraint when it comes to, hey, this is the guy I want. This is the coach we want to move up. Because I'm sure Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie may have had other ideas. But there was like, Nick, if this is the guy you say you want to get a job to, then that's what we're going to do. So, and I'm saying that just to say and acknowledge the fact that Howie's been good at maybe not saying it's my way or the highway. So if Sean Mannion wants this player, maybe Sean Mannion gets that player. You got to invest in him if you're going to give him the keys. My bad. Thank you. Clint Hurt was coach at the Senior. Clint Hurt got a lot of pub being the coach at the Senior Bowl. From what I heard, everybody loves Clint Hurt. Everybody. And in my estimation, I think this might be Vic Fangio's last year. And I think they want to hand the baton off to Clint Hurt. But Clint Hurt might mess around and be a head coach if that's what he wants to do. The things that I've heard, Clint Hurt has got that type of personality. He's one of those dudes. He's one of those run through the wall dudes. Very similar to what's going on with Sirianni. As bad as people wanted to hate on Sirianni, it pissed them off when he just started winning. Then they come up with every excuse in the world. Oh, you got a stacked team. You got this. You got that. Nah. It is so very difficult to lead a locker room of men like that in the professional ranks in the National Football League. You still got to know what the hell you're doing. And you still got to convince them guys in the locker room that you know what the hell you're doing. And to his credit, Sirianni has got that gift. Y'all know I told that story after that Tampa Bay game a couple years ago when we lost to Tampa Bay and everybody wanted Sirianni fired. I did too. But Fletcher Cox changed my mind. Fletcher Cox, on his opportunity to address the team and let them know that he was retiring, he made a point to mention Nick Sirianni. and he didn't have to do it. I've told this story before, so y'all know how I feel about this. He didn't have to do it. That was his moment. That was his moment to acknowledge his team. He was the captain. He was the defensive captain of that team. That was his moment. There was no reason for him to mention Nick Sirianni at all. And he did. Because he liked him, he respected him, and he understood what it was. And if he had never mentioned Nick Sirianni, nobody would have cared. It wouldn't have been a diss. It wouldn't have been like he was slighting Nick Sirianni, nothing like that. But he went out of his way to do it. And that told me something in that moment. You got a Hall of Fame defensive tackle that's walking away from the game. And I believe he still would have had some gas in the tank. But he chose to walk away. But he chose to leave you with parting words on your head coach, the one that everybody was ripping. And guess what? The only thing we did was go to the Super Bowl twice and win one. So guess who was right and guess who was wrong? You want to hear some funny shit? Go back on 97.5 and go back on WIP and go back on ESPN and go back on Fox Sports and pull them receipts from the interwebs and Twitter and TikTok. Go back and Instagram. Go back and pull all of them receipts about Nick Sirianni after the Tampa Bay game. Go back and pull all of them receipts. That's why you can't tell me these people on the radio know what the hell they talking about. They are guessing just like we do. They don't know what the hell they talking about. Everybody had Nick Sirianni pegged. And the only thing he did was keep winning. I got to go back and find my interview. One of my friends, one of my teammates when I was in the World League, he coached Nick Sirianni at Mount Union in Ohio. When we hired Nick Sirianni, I had this dude. His name is Jim Ballard. He was the quarterback when we won the championship in 1996 with the Scottish Claymore. He played a couple years for, I think he started for a year or two at Buffalo with the Bills. But I had him on the show, and he was telling me, he said, listen, he said, I coached the kid. I know his family. I know how he works. I know where he comes from. I know what he's about. He knows how to win, and he knows football. He told me that from day one. This was the day after the press conference. A couple days after the press conference about the Flowers. And everybody was killing them. I was killing them. And my boy told me. He said, you got to trust me on this one. The kid knows how to win. He was 100%. He was 100% right. I think Clint gets enough credit. I just think that they don't talk about him enough. Because we get distracted with other things. I think he gets enough credit. I just think we don't talk about him enough. In my mind, those are two different things. We get distracted with the low-hanging fruit that is A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo and all of that. But we got the baddest duo in the NFL right now. We got Vic Fangio and Clint Hurt. We got the baddest duo of coaches in the NFL. Not to mention, we got one of the nastiest secondaries. We just lost Reed Blankenship. And Howie Roseman doing this thing again. Now we got the nastiest secondary in the NFL. We got Quinion, we got Coop, we got Andrew Makuba, and we got Rick Woolen. We got a nasty secondary. Now we got another question mark at linebacker because N'Kobe's gone. Jihad's going to start, but Jihad's hurt. So what do we do now? And again, I don't think people understand how smart N'Kobe Dean is. That's something we didn't talk about enough. We did not give enough props for how smart and how tough N'Kobe Dean He is. Nakobe Dean came back from his damn patella being on the wrong side of his leg and came back. And to say he wrecked shop is a gross understatement. And it pisses me off because we wasted that effort. We wasted that defensive effort because the freaking offense couldn't get their shit together. The offensive line couldn't block. And we wasted that defensive opportunity. So I think Trot Jr. is going to be able to step in and play more. I think he's ready. And not for nothing, Trot's one of them dudes. You know, Trot's going to be a smart player because he's a legacy. Because all he got to do is go back to his daddy and ask him questions. And you know, I know for a fact that Trot, Big Trot, been pouring into him. You know, he been watching film with the old man. You already know that. So he just got to get comfortable. And he might, he might step in and surprise some people. And can you imagine, dude, if Jeremiah Trotter Jr. just steps up and just starts to ball out, Philly would lose their shit. They would go nuts over that kid. They would go nuts over that kid. I got a funny story about Trot Jr. Funny story. I was working at the Apple store. And Trot came into the Apple store. Shout out to my people at Cherry Hill Apple store. Trot came into the Apple store. So of course I see him. I dap him up and we talking And my boss at the time, Toby, she was our store manager. She had told me that this was her son. She was telling me how worried she was because this was her son's first year of playing organized football. He wanted to play football. And she said he's not a very big kid. And I was like, let's experience and see what he wants to do and see how he. So I was giving her some tips and, and she told me that Jeremiah Trot Jr. knocked her son out of the game and he quit playing football today. And when Trot came into the store, I went and got Toby and I introduced him. I was like, Toby, this is Jeremiah Trotter Sr. I was like, Trot, your son knocked her son out of the game last week. And he just kind of got a laugh. She was embarrassed. So that was funny. But I tell you what, man, that just makes me feel old because Trot Jr. was what? I guess maybe 10, 11 years old at the time. It's funny how you watch things and watch them grow and all of that kind of stuff, man. So, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. He in the draft this year. Got another one coming out. Absolutely. So, listen, man. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. So, but Howie's smarter than that. He's smarter. What's the younger brother's name? Is it Jeremiah? Is it Jeremiah? Nah. That's Trot Jr. What's the youngest brother's name? Let me see. What's his name? Trot, because I know that Tammy Josiah. Yep. Thank you, Josiah. Now where he's playing in West Virginia, and is he? What is he? Is he a DB? Let me see. Do we got his combine? There we go. All right, 6'2", linebacker. What was his 40 time? Prospect grade 6.35. Will eventually be a plus starter. Score breakdown. Why doesn't it have his stuff, man? Did he run? Yeah, I guess it's time to start looking at Pro Fan Focus and all that other kind of stuff where they get all the draft stuff. Did he run? Um, 6'2", 237. I guess. Hell, everybody got overshadowed by the boys from the brothers from Old State. So yeah, he went to Missouri, but I'm just trying to see his 40 time. NFL Network, NFL.com don't have his information. So, but heck, man, it's almost time to start doing mock drafts and all kind of stuff, man. Shit, it's that time of the year, bro. Um, so yeah, yep. Got to memorize all these people, man. That time of year. Don't come quick. Don't come quick. Yes, he went to Mizzou. So yeah. 4.61 40 time. That's not bad. Not bad. Almost in the 4.5. I bet you if he had a pro day on his own, he would probably run like a 4.55, mid to high 4.5s. He could get under 4.61. I almost guarantee you. So, but somebody gonna pick him up and he gonna buy. NFLDraftBuzz.com. I have to check that out. Hell, it's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. So, but before we go any further, I know I promised. Let me drop the mic. Drop this link. So if anybody want to come on, I know I ain't had a chance to do that in a while, but definitely want to drop the link tonight. So if you got something to say, let's go. What up, Ant? It's all good. Never late, always on time, bro. You are exactly where you're supposed to be at any given moment. Don't get it twisted. So, but yeah, man, we are at that point. I gotta call my buddy Colin to get him on here. But my draft expert. This is his busy season, but we are almost here, man. And I'm all about Sean Mannion. I'm all about Sean Mannion. You sent me something on X. What you got? What you got? What you sent me? I'm talking Sean Mannion. Very excited about Shanahan implementations. Not as much isolation or tackles, easier on the edge, more wide zone. Now I'd heard that before about the zone runs. I'm a huge fan of zone read runs. Get a ball to your running back as deep as humanly possible and let him make a decision. There is no hole. If you want to cut it back, if you want to bounce it outside, if you want to slam it up the middle, you read and be a running back and go where you need to go. That's the best way to do it. If you don't think if you don't know what that looks like, go on YouTube and go look at when the Broncos went back to back. Go check out the Broncos when they did it and watch Terrell Davis run zone reads and he was killing folks. That offensive line, man to a man, and then they make it happen. They would make it happen.
What's happening with the coach? You got me?
I got you. You a little staticky, but go ahead.
Hold on, let me fix this. Let me pull this out. I got you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Go ahead.
Oh shit, I can't hear. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I got you.
Okay. My bad. I couldn't hear you. That's what it was. But appreciate you for having me on. I was gonna say a couple things real quick. I've been putting it in the chat. This is the first time I get to ask you on the stream though. What you think is some of the ways that Mannion can? Because obviously we still a run heavy team. I mean a run first team, but I'm like of the mindset. How can we get a little bit more balance to where obviously the run game will help the offense move better, but how can we not be so run dependent to where if we don't have a great run game, everything just completely falls apart? You think it's certain things he can do to kind of help the offense be a little bit more balanced in that aspect?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
Because it all comes down to being able to block. You
true.
got the biggest problem we had last year was defenses didn't respect the run, even with Saquon back there.
Yeah.
Most of Saquon's splash plays was when we bounced it outside. I think he had one, maybe two big plays that really hit up the middle. Everything else was bounced. Tank Bigsby bounced. Um, and we didn't even take advantage of that. We didn't even scheme anything like that. So
Fact.
because we were so ineffective running in between the tackles, there's less pressure for the defense because we got that covered.
Yeah.
So it kind of pigeonholes you in a different spot when defenses are scheming you like that. Because
Right.
literally defenses are watching film and they're like, they can't run the ball. They can't run up the middle. We good. We got that. We got that covered. So I think it is paramount that we need to run the ball successfully because it just opens up so many different things. It just makes it freezes the linebackers.
Right.
And especially now it goes back to what I was just saying about wide zone runs. The zone run. Get the ball
Yeah.
to your running back as deep as humanly possible. But to do that, you got to stick that ball out.
Yeah.
You got to stick that ball out. And when you stick that ball out, see ball, get ball, linebackers are going to be instinctive. And all you need is one step in the wrong direction. One step in game speed is at least 3 yards worth of space. That's the open receiver. That makes all the difference. Can you make the defense take a step up, take a step in the wrong direction with play action, misdirection, excuse me, things of that nature. And we couldn't do it last year. We couldn't do it, and it put us in a bad situation, which is why we had so much problem throwing the ball last year. So it is important that the offensive line is ready. It is important that Cam Jurgens, whatever stem cells he's taking or whatever he's doing, that it works. Landon Dickerson, whatever you doing, it's got to work. Because if y'all block like y'all did in 25, we're going to be in the world of hurt. It's going to be a frustrating start.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
the more I think about it, and I keep saying this, I never thought this would be even an option. That when you look at last year, that was a Jeff Stoutland problem. You the run game coordinator, and we couldn't run. But we so in our feelings about Jeff Stoutland, and I was one of them. Jeff Stoutland was the gold standard. He was untouchable as far as I was concerned, but we couldn't run the ball. Whose fault is that? Because I guarantee you, the way our offense was going, if Nick Sirianni was in charge of that offense, they'd be wanting him fired. So it's only fair that you look at Jeff Stoutland and is like, dude, what was going on? How come you would never take Cam Jurgens off the field? Even after Brett Toth had a really good game against the Giants. I know it was just the Giants, but you got to start somewhere. And he couldn't have done any worse than Jurgens was doing. So the only thing I can think of is there was a reason why he didn't make the switch. Because if that means Dickerson has got to stay at guard, and maybe Dickerson wasn't healthy. So like it was just a domino effect of bad stuff. But you do have to give some of the blame on Stoutland because we could not run to save our lives last year. And it hurt the offense. And that's why I say if we would have had any type of inside running game, just adequate, then Kevin Patullo would probably still have a job.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely fair. The only thing that's not really pushback because if we go back, obviously when the year before when we won the Super Bowl, when Saquon was running crazy when he had the 2,000 yards, I mean we all remember that because even AJ alluded to it, and it was sort of the question mark that the passing game still even that year wasn't, I guess, what people would deem as consistent, like on a week-to-week basis.
I
So
agree.
it's like one of them things where my thing is, and what I'm hoping for, I mean, obviously you got way more knowledge than I do, but just hoping that obviously if the run game is as bad as it was last year, then it obviously puts you in bad passing downs because you're in third and long, second and long, and it's predictable. So you it's hard to pick up third and longs consistently in the NFL. But it's like even if the run game, because I think what some of the other people were saying was that part of the reason that teams were teeing off on the run game too is that they didn't respect the pass game whatsoever. Like they weren't worried about anything going over the top. So it was just like as soon as they snapped this ball, we teeing off on at the run. And it's like all the last off season, every team in the NFL, the number one thing was how do we stop the Eagles run game? Because what we did and how much damage we did when we won the bowl. But it's like I feel like there was no evolution on like, okay, we know they're gonna stop this. How can we get this passing game to evolve? Because even with Kellen, like, yeah, we won the Super Bowl, but it was still like throughout the process of the year, there was still some question marks around how can we be more consistent throwing the ball so that way it doesn't have to be so dynamic in terms of like even teams like the Lions, I know they had a down year this year, but if you look at the past few years, the Lions have been dynamic running the ball and throwing the ball. So I'm like,
Yeah,
can we get some of that balance?
but the one thing you got to do is you still have to be adequate at it, and we weren't even
Yeah, no,
that.
for sure. No, we weren't.
So and it cost us.
Yeah, it
Now,
costs.
somebody Riz 1845 said play calling, which is true, but we wasn't crazy about the play calling in 24. We were still bitching about that. I know I was. I was bitching about them the trips left wide receiver screens that we kept
The
running because
the
it
bubble
seemed
screen.
like we would always run that play and we couldn't think of something to run. That was like the
Yeah,
default play. If they don't get the play in time, well, this is what we're gonna run. And it was predictable, and we ran it too often, and we got burned on that a couple times. But they kept running it.
yeah, we was
So
getting blown up on that.
yeah, but the running game covered up so many warts, so many warts. AJ Brown first mentioned the passing game not being good enough when we beat Carolina
Yeah,
and we had 103 yards passing that game, something like that.
yeah, it was like 103 net, like total
Yeah,
pass.
so he wasn't wrong. And the offense after that was just bipolar and couldn't
Yeah,
figure out. So again, so if we were having them same problems with not Kevin Patullo, but
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, now we having the same issues with Kevin Patullo, but it just seemed like it was worse with Kevin Patullo because it just seemed like sometimes Kevin Patullo was not as bad as everybody thought he was, but
No,
there were some situations where, plain and simply, we lost the chess match.
correct. But see,
So
here's the thing, and this is what you allude to. If I'm being 100% objective, if we look at the totality of the last 2 years, if we look at the way we play offense, especially relative to everybody else, I don't think we ever been a team that won chess matches. We just smashed you in the mouth and you couldn't do nothing about it. Like that's
yeah,
what it was the year before. Like with Kellen and this team. Up
yeah,
until we got to the Super Bowl and the Chiefs tried to take that away and the Commanders did, and then we went over the top on them. Like obviously, even the run game got a schematic aspect to it. I'm not saying it don't, but I'm like, it seemed like the last 2 years it's always been we gonna be the bullies until you can't do nothing about it, and then here comes the quick slant to AJ or some over the top to Devon. That's how it was. But then when last year we couldn't bully nobody no more, it was like, oh snap, what are we doing? And I'm like, where Patullo, I don't blame Patullo because I said it, I've been consistent. I thought it was a tough spot for a first time OC just because of the pressure, not because he was bad. It's just the pressure. But I'm like, if he had Kellen Moore's offensive line, would he look as bad? Because that offensive line, like you said, it masked for a lot of stuff. A lot of
no,
stuff.
I don't think he would have.
Yeah,
But to me, uh, there was still enough games where you had to look at the offense in either the first half or the second half, and you're like, dude, what are we doing?
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I had enough shows and enough opportunities where I talked about player execution failure. We had some
Absolutely.
games where it wasn't Kevin Patullo. It was us dropping passes, fumbling the ball, not getting blocks,
Yeah,
and it ended up costing us. And it's like, listen, Kevin Patullo doesn't block a soul. He doesn't throw a pass. He doesn't take a handoff. So you can only do what you can do as
absolutely.
a coordinator. So there's a balance when it comes to that. Some of the stuff you could blame him, put it on him. Some of the stuff has got to be on the players.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
It's always a mix. I feel like. I
Wh-
think it's always a
Yeah,
mix
and,
of both.
and which one outweighed the other? But again, I thought that there was enough evidence where firing him was understandable.
Yeah, I think one of the things for me is that when we were getting those offensive lows, there seemed to be no like layup sort of thing to get Jalen in rhythm. Like it was inexplicable how many second halves we went and he didn't have a completion. Like that happened like 3 times last year or this past year. Like, and
That's
I'm
part of the
like,
stuff I don't understand because
yeah,
you would what I would think you would normally do is you kind of go back in the history books or you go back a couple seasons ago, like AJ, when you had when that first year here and you had all of them yards, what was you doing? Running quick slants.
yeah,
Why they stop with the quick? I never understood that.
I don't know.
So
I don't.
there was enough to go around. If they would have kept Patullo for another year, I would have understood, but they didn't, and I understand that as well.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it just I think obviously having some time to look back, at the season. Obviously in the season you kind of, we it's going so fast, but not having time to look back at it, like you said, I mean, it's a mix of the player failure execution part and then some of the stuff that he was doing. But like one of the things I just was pretty clear on is like I didn't understand how, like I said, when the offense would get in those slumps, there seemed to be no answer. Like there was nothing. Either it was good or it was absolutely garbage. No in between.
Absolutely.
It was
It
no
was
sense
no
of
in
like,
between. So we stopped running RPOs.
yeah,
That I think that helped Jalen out a lot, and we stopped running it. Um,
yeah,
and I think people game planned him because they knew where he was going to go with the ball. We became predictable.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
That and to me, I'm like knowing who, because I'm like watching other teams across the league. We talk about, especially when it comes to receivers, like when the Rams play or these other teams play or Seattle, you know who's getting the ball. That's not the problem, but it's the ways you get them the ball. I feel like that can be kind of, you can be kind of creative with it to where it's not so, like you said, predictable or teams know exactly what format. And even some of the guys that you talked about being on the roster that we're bringing in now, it's like hopefully they're versatile enough to be able to do both running, blocking and catching, because you don't want to be tipping your hand with certain formations, because teams will pick up on like if this guy's in the game, they're not running the ball or they're not passing the ball. And I'm like, that was one of the things last year, like you said, when them lows came up, we couldn't get a 4 yard slant to AJ to keep the chains moving or just get some momentum. That was the part that to me, I looked at the coaching staff like, bruh, what's going on? I mean, and like, the same story, defense bailed us out more often than not during the regular season at least, but we know what happened come playoff time. We just, offense couldn't do it, couldn't hold up its end of the
couldn't get it
bargain. Like,
done.
yeah, couldn't
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 get
get
it
it
done.
done. And,
Jalen took a lot more sacks.
yeah,
Um, but like, what's the balance with that? You take more sacks. You didn't turn the ball over a lot, but with the exception of the one game where he threw four or whatever that was. But
yeah,
um, but I don't know. Did he see the ball great or did he see the field great? I don't think so because he missed a lot of open receivers and stuff like that. So there was enough
yeah,
there was enough to go around. But
absolutely, absolutely.
we'll see what happens this year, man. We'll see what he got with Mannion, man. So I appreciate
Uh,
it, Chris.
yes, sir.
So yeah, man. It was it is. Oh, this dude called us Jalenites. I never heard that one before, Jalenites. You said peace, I'm out. All right then. Peace then. Or come on the mic and say your piece. Philadelphia Eagles agreed to trade. Is this what? Is this real? What's that? Oh shit. Hold on. We got breaking news. Hold on, dog. You bull jiving. You for real? Hold on. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Let me go to ESPN. NFL. I see the trade for Dalton. don't see anything else. So if that's for real, Clifton, send me a link. Send me a link. I don't see it yet. Let me see. Adam Schefter. Cleveland Browns proposing that's a rule change. Cowboys. Yep, that's cap. All right. Cap it is. It's all good. Cliff, you trolling me, dog? That's what we doing now. Gotta vet the information, man. It's too easy to get receipts these days, bro. NFL is laying groundwork for hiring replacement officials this season if the league is unable to agree on a new collective bargaining agreement with the NFL Referees Association. Interesting. I wonder if my boy gonna get moved up. My boy Willie T. Willie T is a ref in the ACC. They should have been moved him up to the league. So we'll see. We'll see. But in any case, it is all good in the hood. So if anybody else got anything, the link is still up there at 11:05 before I shut this thing down. But yeah, Eagles making moves. Howie's in a good position. He is putting his pieces, getting ready to strike for this draft. I still got some tape to watch. I want to watch the Green Bay, a couple of games of Green Bay to see if I can get a sense of what Sean Mannion is going to try to bring to Philly. Also, I got to watch Jacksonville because I want to see Johnny Munt, see what his blocking skills are like. So we'll see. We'll see. So, but all right, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. It is 11:09. I'm gonna try to give me a couple runs in marathon, give me some good loot, and then I might try to do some of this voiceover for this NFL Films piece, so I can get that up. But appreciate everybody, man. Y'all gotta not be scared to get on the mic though. So, but I will be back tomorrow. I'll probably have something produced tomorrow. Probably I don't know if I'll go live unless breaking news happens. So, and we still growing. We still doing the thing. Do me a favor, y'all know what I always say. When I see you guys on Friday 10 p.m., I always go at 10 p.m. so I can get my friends on the West Coast, give them some time. But your homework is to when you come back on here on Friday night, 10 p.m., bring a friend. That's how we do. That's how we grow. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. We had a good conversation tonight. There's still a lot of stuff going on, man. Howie is still in the mix and doing his thing, man. So we good to go. Yeah. Just waiting, just trying to see what's gonna happen. Just trying to see what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. It's cold up here in South Jersey. Just as long as we don't get no more snow. I'm gonna be up out of here, man. Holla at y'all on Friday, 10 p.m. Bring a friend. Y'all know how we do. And as usual, go Birds.
Mic check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the Birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide? Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. But we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk.